So I'm taking a brief intermission in my regularly scheduled memorization and recording of The Lady of the Lake by Sir Walter Scott to fulfill a request to memorize and record a poem by Rabbie Burns in celebration of Burns Night, which happens on January 25th. Now, like Sir Walter Scott, Rabbie Burns was also Scottish, and he was also a poet, and he wrote songs including Auld Lang Syne. The first Burns Night was celebrated on the 5th anniversary of Rabbie Burns' death, and his friends came together to recite his poetry and to share memories, and this tradition has continued ever since, although the date changed from the date of his death to the date of his birth on January 25th. It's celebrated in Scotland because he was Scottish and he was an important person in Scottish history because of the works that he created. But it's also celebrated all over the world where people celebrate and appreciate the work of Rabbie Burns. Now, I chose to record a poem called A Red, Red Rose, and I chose this one because as I was digging into the history of Rabbie Burns, I found out that he was a notorious ladies' man. He had 3 illegitimate children outside of the children that he had with his wife. The first one of those was with a servant on the family farm called Elizabeth Peyton. Now, Rabbie Burns decided he didn't want to marry her when they found out she was pregnant, and so the Burns family raised the child to give the child all of the privilege that they could offer. He then went on to have children with a lady called Jean Armour, and they actually married after the birth of their second child and went on to have 9 children together, the last one being born on the day of Rabbie Burns' funeral. Now, of the 2 other illegitimate children that we know about, the first was with a handmaid called Jenny, who was passing notes back and forth between Rabbie Burns and her mistress, Agnes. And unfortunately, from the records, it appears that Jenny and the child may both have passed away, as the records of them end at a certain date. And the final illegitimate child that we know of was with a lady called Anne Park, who was a bartender, a barmaid. And also she passed away, but Jean Armour decided to raise that child with the other children in the family. So here it is, A Red, Red Rose by Rabbie Burns. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the sea's gone dry. Till all the sea's gone dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, and I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run. Oh, fare thee well, my only love, oh, fare thee well a while, and I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 mile.